So, Black Panther, am I right?
You're always right,
I'm
Jack.
always right.
Yeah. Okay, before we begin, I'd like to apologize for not posting reviews for the Cloverfield Paradox or the Poster Fan and Thread or Star Wars The Last Jedi or Paddington 2 or Murder on the Orient Express or Justice League or Coco or Geostorm or Babysitter or Thor Ragnarok or Blade Runner 2049 or Kings of the Golden Circle or Molly's Game or Jim and Andy or Three Billboards or Lady Bird or the 1517 to Paris, which we haven't yet seen, however, is a total meme. On with the show.
Jesus Christ.
Black Panther was directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Forrest Whitaker, and some other people like
Including
Andy
who?
Serkis.
Thank you. That's all we need to hear.
And Andy Serkis. You know?
Just Andy Serkis.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we begin, we
so-
should introduce ourselves. My name's Kielan.
Yep. My name's Will.
My name's Josh.
And my name's Jay.
And
Yep.
we are the Ghostbusters.
So Black Panther, of course, is the newest Marvel
Professionals
movie.
out the door. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's the newest Marvel Studios, Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, and I think we all thought it was pretty good.
Yes.
So, just some general thoughts before we
Best Marvel movie of the year.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
Good old 2018 strikes again.
I think 100% of people could say that,
Yes.
except for like people who've seen them. Anyway,
And racists.
Yeah.
Keelan, you want to do your Keelan, you want to do your little thing?
Yeah, so as always, we've broken this review down into 3 sections: good, bad, and meh. And as always, we'll start with the positives because, as always, this is a positive space until it isn't.
Yes. So, Jack, why don't you start us off?
So with the good, okay, let's start off by talking about the action.
Yeah.
The
Some
action
great
was
cinematography
beautiful.
and not cinematography, choreography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also cinematography.
Yes.
Cinematography also.
Yeah, I'll talk about that later though. But
Yeah.
One thing I really liked about the movie is that it really had a style. It didn't feel like just another generic Marvel movie. It had a look. It had a definitive kind of lighting and color palette, and I really liked the way that the director approached it. And also the action wasn't cut to hell. Like
Yes.
it wasn't over edited. They had long takes in it, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, and I think one of the main reasons that there's such a distinct style is that it's such a unique environment that we haven't seen before in a Marvel movie, let alone like any movie. I'm
It's
sure.
not just like taking a handful of superheroes and putting them into a scenario against another bad guy. It's like telling a story about a tribe.
Justice League, Batman. Yeah. Oh, do you want to talk about the bad guy?
Oh yeah, no. Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger probably stands out as one of the best Marvel villains, seeing as most of them are relatively bland to forgettable.
He had
I think
a,
so, yeah.
I agree.
Because he had real motivations
Yeah.
that kind of countered.
I felt that he did he came in very late, and there wasn't much that was done with him until like halfway through the movie, which was kind of like weird. But I think as a character, he's good.
I did say to Will in the theater, I said, that's a bit of a waste of Michael B. Jordan because I thought that he did an incredible job with the character. However, I just wish they'd given him more time and a little bit more development because I think that could have been a really interesting villain that you might even sympathize with.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I feel like they just didn't give him enough time or enough development to fully develop that, but I thought it was good. Overall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he was more of a sidekick for most of the
We'll
a
talk
majority
about
of the
that part later.
Yeah.
So the story, I
Yeah.
think the story is a lot more like developed than other Marvel
Yeah,
movies.
it's very story driven as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it was also kind of self-contained. It wasn't
Yeah.
like the end of the world's gonna happen, like kind of was, but like they didn't tell it in the kind of way where it's like, okay, they didn't do the thing which bothered me, which is like if they're like the world's gonna end and it'll cut to like innocent children in like
like
Chicago,
X-Men Apocalypse.
yeah,
or
and
something.
it's like they're gonna die. Look at these children. They're gonna like
They're
it's
like
it's
Justice
just
League with the family. And
exactly. But this was just kind of like they're just showing.
Yeah, it has a
they're showing
beginning and
the affecting aspect, but not the effect of the affecting aspect.
Yeah.
and allowing you to care solely based on that, and the fact that they make you care without even showing like innocent victims or whatever, I think is a testament to how well.
And they don't have a
developed
bit
the
where
world.
it's like, hey, in the future something's coming.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah,
And
We're
he
also
has a
recording
re-
this outside. Sorry about the sirens.
yeah.
Nice and cold out here.
The music was really good.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
music, I
yes.
like that.
It's a
Like,
nice
I'm not
blend.
just talking about the the rap music.
Yeah, the score.
I love rap.
Yeah, the score is pretty good.
Yeah, and the score is a lot of like something I liked about the score is that they kind of did 2 distinct styles. They had like a more kind of classical, like kind of tribal feel, I guess.
Yeah.
In that they used more classical African
Well, yeah,
instruments
they had,
and
like horns and
and horns,
Star
that
Wars.
kind of
Yeah.
thing, which I thought was really cool. But then they also used a lot of hip hop beats and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
mixed with more orchestral sounds.
I don't like rap, but I thought it did a really nice blend of it, and it
Yeah.
was good. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
it
I was
works
saying
really well
before
in
to
action
Kielan,
scenes.
like just in some intense scenes when they just have the beat of like a rap
Yeah.
song going on in
Yeah.
the back, it makes it's more like immersive like that.
Also, the cast is very good. It's a big cast. I didn't read out all of it, obviously, but it's a really expansive cast, and it's really good, I think.
Yeah, some really excellent parts in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to move on to the bad?
Yeah, I feel like we should probably move on to bad. Andy Serkis.
Yeah. I don't know.
What was he doing? Why was Andy Serkis in this movie, and what was happening?
Andy
Then we go
Serkis.
back up and
This is gonna be a very fragmented review. We're in an elevator now. Andy Serkis. I thought Andy Serkis was awful. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, his character made no sense to me because I was trying to figure him out for the entire movie,
was
but I
just
didn't
singing
understand. He was kind of serious sometimes. He was kind of jokey.
or 1 sec.
Okay, now we're walking through our winners.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
Yep. So
I like how he wanted to keep this professional.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Andy Serkis' character was kind of a mess.
Copyright struck for the music.
Now we're outside the winners. Damn, that Calvin Klein was cheap.
Yeah, I thought Andy Serkis was completely different than he was in the previous movie. Like
Can
in
you do
this
your impression of him quickly? Say cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, in this movie, he was just like this cackling, like he had no place in this movie because it took itself relatively seriously, and it kind of.
I think he had a place. Like he was kind of just the
was
enemy of their
But he
kingdom
felt
or
like he
whatever.
was in a completely different movie.
Yeah.
He was a stepping stone for the.
Yeah, but he was just there chewing scenery the entire time, and it's fine to have a villain chewing scenery, but they have to be doing it well.
Yeah.
Like
There's
Hux
there's
does it
bits
well.
where he's like singing, and you're just like, okay, he's meant to be this like insane,
Arms dealer.
crazy arms dealer guy.
No pun
yeah.
intended.
But he's
Nice.
but like
He has no arm.
to me, it it felt completely out of place, and
No, I agree.
he needed to be there, but they might have. I don't think they did it very well.
No, I think he was a terrible part of this movie.
Yeah. What else did we have?
Under bad, Andy Serkis singing, Andy Serkis, Andy Serkis. I wrote
Andy
it 4
Serkis, yeah.
times.
Yeah, that
Basically
wasn't really
him.
that much that was too bad about this film.
I think there's
Couple seconds.
nope. It was just Andy Serkis.
Okay.
Well, and that joke that what are those?
Oh yeah, the what are those joke?
Yeah. Somebody.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh
Somebody,
yeah, they don't have internet. So how does that like?
I'm sure they have internet.
Then why aren't there Wakandan YouTubers?
Why would
Because-
they want them? Because they don't want them to disclose anything.
They'd probably be executed by state, but I'm sure that they have vibranium servers. Or something like that.
Vibranium
the
YouTube.
vibranium internet cords that makes like
Wakanda
super
is
fast internet.
Super 8 million megapixels per
Precisely.
second. What's in meh? What's our meh? We're moving on to the meh section.
I'm sure if modern day world found Wakanda and found the vibranium, they would just use it for super fast internet cables.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what makes sense is they don't like it makes no sense that Wakanda would open up because the second that they're like, hey, we have all of this super rare metal that's worth billions of dollars.
America's
Yeah,
Christopher
exactly.
Columbus.
Yeah.
You know what he did to the natives?
Hey.
He made them dig for gold in a place where there was none.
Yeah, and then he tortured them.
He
Yeah.
cut off people's.
And enslaved
well,
them.
okay, let's not talk about Christopher
Yeah.
Columbus. This isn't a
That's a
Christopher
separate
Columbus
podcast.
review.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
Columbus. So some
in
meh
meh,
things.
I think the first act was
Yeah.
kind of it took a while for the movie to pick up. I didn't think it was bad.
I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was kind of introducing the village and
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it felt
characters.
like a lot of just
Like, there's-
setting everything up. It didn't because
Yeah.
in the end, a lot of that wasn't actually connected to the main
There
plot.
was an opening scene which was really long, and then an opening fight scene that was really, really long.
Yeah.
I found, and then they just segue from that into introducing Wakanda. But there's a lot of setup that I felt wasn't paid off enough.
It was refreshing that it was a different than a regular Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Where they have the random cold open where they're like, "Ugh." I mean, I guess this movie does have a cold open, but it's
character-driven
refreshingly
cold open.
different.
It's not an
yes,
action cold open.
and that this movie is primarily, I feel, character driven. Even though there is a lot of action, it's good and it's all for a purpose.
Also, I'd like to say that I didn't like a lot of the humor. There's 3 or 4 jokes total in the movie, and I didn't feel like many of them worked. I think everything with Martin Freeman's character worked, but other than that, I felt it was very out of place, but I'm in the minority in this group thinking that.
I think they were okay. They weren't standout
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
They weren't the
gonna
best.
walk out because a rhino licked that woman.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
and that's
Spoilers.
why we have the meh section.
Yeah.
So
So,
do we
we're
wanna-
going to give our reviews. Jack, I think you're going to do the number review, and Will, you're going to be doing the pretentiousness review. So, Jack, why don't you give us out of 10?
Can I get a drum roll, please? 8.5 out of 10.
8.5.
8.5.
Josh, what did you say it was?
I said 9,
Yeah.
and I stand by that because it is the best Marvel movie in my opinion.
I stand by an 8 personally. However, I'm happy to give it an 8.5 because I think
But you
it's
said
a good movie.
8.3, right?
8.3,
Rounds
but
up.
I personally feel like it deserves closer to an 8 than 8.5 for me.
I think
but I don't know.
it's just a solid, nice, good movie. And on our pretentiousness scale, yes, I would recommend it. On our pretentiousness scale, we're giving this a film.
very good.
So I'm gonna put some rap music in the background.
Okay, nice.
Rap.
Just like a random rap song.
Yeah.
I'm
So I'm gonna just put an Eminem song in the
Yeah.
background. So not even white rap. Just get that in there. It'd be great.
Whitewash it.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for watching or listening, depending on how you're doing this. I mean, like, I guess it's only on YouTube, but like, you could be closing your eyes. I don't know who you. I don't know you. Maybe I do. We probably do, because like no one listens to what. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you want to watch more videos, click on the playlist on the right. If you want to watch less videos, click on the left or the subscribe button. That works. If you never want to see our stuff, again, click the subscribe button 3 times, and
click the
everything will go away. So anyways, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and click right here to get Stuckmanized.
Yep. Or white man review black.